Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the Gold IRA Blueprint podcast. Today, we're doing a deep dive into iTrustCapital. It's a platform that's been getting a lot of attention lately, especially for those of you looking to maybe add some alternative assets to your retirement plan.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting how they're catering to folks who are looking beyond, just the traditional stocks and bonds, wanting to add things like cryptocurrencies or precious metals to their retirement accounts, kind of like you would with a gold IRA.
So for our listeners who might be new to all this, what really makes iTrustCapital stand out? What's the big draw?
Well, I think it's the flexibility and the potential for growth. You can have Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, even some of those lesser known cryptocurrencies all in one place. And it all grows tax-free within your retirement account. They have over 25 different crypto options, which is pretty impressive.
That is a lot of choices.
hmm
But for someone who's more used to like the traditional investments,
hmm
the idea of having crypto in their retirement account might seem a bit risky.
I can see that. But remember, iTrustCapital isn't just about crypto. They also offer precious metals, which have always been seen as a safe haven asset, especially when things get a little shaky with the economy. So right off the bat, you've got that diversification built in.
That's a really good point. You're not putting all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. You can mix that potential high growth of crypto with the stability of gold, and all within a retirement account that has tax advantages. By the way, if anyone's interested in learning more about gold IRAs, we have a great resource for you. Head over to goldirablueprint.com/exclusive. You can get a free checklist there that'll help you choose the right company for your needs.
Absolutely. And that actually ties into another thing that makes iTrustCapital unique. It's a one-stop shop for both crypto and precious metals all within your retirement account. Plus, they use something called decentralized ledger technology for their platform.
Okay, decentralized ledger technology. That sounds a little complicated. Can you break that down for us? What does that even mean for the average person?
Sure. Basically, it means that your transactions are recorded on a network that's spread out, not just in one central spot. This makes it super secure and transparent because there's no single point of failure that hackers could try to target.
So it's like having a digital vault protecting your investments.
Yeah.
That's pretty reassuring when we're talking about our retirement funds.
You got it. And it's not just about security, it's about transparency too. You can actually see where your assets are and how they're being managed, which I think gives a lot of people peace of mind.
So we've got diversification, potential for growth, strong security. What else is there to like about iTrustCapital? Let's talk about the features. What can you actually do on this platform?
Well, the main things are trading and investing in those assets we talked about. Cryptocurrencies and precious metals, they design the platform to be really user-friendly, even if you're not a tech expert.
I think that's really important because not everyone's comfortable with those complicated trading platforms, especially when it comes to their retirement savings. Is that user-friendliness something that's reflected in the customer reviews?
Definitely. Users consistently praise how intuitive the interface is and how easy it is to use. They also highlight the customer support, which is always a good sign. It seems like they're very responsive to any questions or issues that come up.
Having great customer service is so crucial for any financial platform. It just makes you feel like you're in good hands.
It can make a big difference for sure, especially when you're dealing with something as important as your retirement.
And speaking of savings, let's talk about the benefits of using a platform like iTrustCapital for your retirement planning. I know a lot of our listeners are looking to diversify their portfolios and maybe hedge against inflation. So how does iTrustCapital fit into that kind of strategy?
Well, you've hit the nail on the head there with diversification and inflation hedging. iTrustCapital lets you blend those traditional assets like stocks with alternatives like crypto and precious metals. And those different asset classes, they tend to move independently of each other historically.
So it's like having a built-in shock absorber for your portfolio. If one asset class takes a hit, the others can potentially soften the blow. That becomes even more important as you get closer to retirement, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. When you're nearing retirement, you don't have as much time to recover from those big market swings. So having that diverse mix can definitely provide some peace of mind.
So let's break down the specific benefits of each asset class a little more. Starting with crypto, what makes it appealing to someone who's investing for retirement?
Well, we've seen cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin have incredible price appreciation in recent years. And while, of course, past performance doesn't guarantee future returns, some investors see crypto as a potential high-growth part of their portfolio, especially for long-term goals like retirement.
But we do have to talk about the volatility. Crypto is known for its ups and downs, so how can someone planning for retirement handle that?
That's where diversification comes back into play. With iTrustCapital, you can balance your portfolio with those precious metals like gold. Gold has historically been seen as a hedge against inflation and economic uncertainty.
So if the stock market takes a dip and inflation's on the rise, gold could potentially hold its value or even increase. And that can help offset any losses in other parts of your portfolio.
Exactly. It's all about managing that risk and building a portfolio that can handle different economic conditions.
Okay, so we've got diversification covered,
Yeah.
but let's not forget about one of the biggest advantages of retirement accounts, the tax advantages. How does iTrust Capital measure up in that department?
This is where it gets really interesting. With iTrust Capital, you're trading and growing your investments tax-free inside a retirement account. So you don't owe taxes on those gains until you withdraw the money in retirement.
Which means your money has the potential to grow much faster over time, giving your retirement savings a nice boost.
Exactly. It's like giving your money a head start on the growth track.
That's fantastic. Now, we've been focusing on the positives, but it's important to be realistic and look at the potential downsides too. Every investment comes with some level of risk. So what are some things to be cautious about with iTrust Capital?
Well, the volatility of cryptocurrencies and precious metals is a big one. Their prices can fluctuate quite a bit, and there's always a chance of losing money.
That's true for any investment, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Even the stock market can be unpredictable.
that's true. But cryptocurrencies and precious metals tend to be even more volatile than traditional assets. Investors really need to be aware of that and be prepared for both the gains and the potential losses.
So going into it with a clear understanding of your risk tolerance and your investment goals is really key.
Absolutely. And another thing to think about is security. While iTrust Capital does have strong security measures in place, like two-factor authentication and encryption, no online platform is completely immune to security risks.
You're right. It's like anything online, there's always some level of risk.
Exactly. But it's important to note that iTrust Capital takes security seriously. They haven't had any major breaches, and they use that decentralized ledger technology we discussed earlier, which adds another layer of protection.
Okay, so security is a valid concern. But it sounds like iTrust Capital is doing what they can to protect their users' funds. We've talked about the features, the benefits, and the risks. But now let's hear from the people who actually use it. What are real users saying about their experience with iTrust Capital?
Well, we took a deep dive into customer reviews and testimonials. And the overall sentiment is extremely positive. People consistently rave about the customer support and how easy the platform is to use.
That's great to hear. It's one thing to hear about the features and benefits of the company itself,
Favor.
but it's even better to get that positive feedback from actual users.
I agree. And it aligns with what we've been discussing about their commitment to customer service and creating a user-friendly platform.
But let's be fair, no company is perfect. Were there any recurring negative comments or concerns that came up in those reviews?
There were a few mentions of fee transparency. Some users felt that while iTrust Capital does disclose their fees, the information could be presented a little more clearly, maybe more straightforwardly.
Yeah, transparency is super important, especially when it comes to fees that can eat into your returns over time. It sounds like there's some room for improvement there.
I think so. But it's worth noting that the vast majority of reviews were overwhelmingly positive. It seems like most users are happy with the platform and the services they offer.
Okay, so we've really explored iTrust Capital from all angles, the good, potentially great, and the things to watch out for. But the big question is, does this platform make sense for your retirement strategy?
And that's what this deep dive is all about, giving you the knowledge to answer that question for yourself. It's like we're handing you a high-powered financial lens. Now it's time to focus it on your specific needs.
I love that analogy. There's no one-size-fits-all answer here. But to help you figure it out, let's recap those key takeaways, starting with the potential upsides.
Well, iTrust Capital gives you the option to go beyond those traditional stocks and bonds. You can add crypto like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and precious metals like gold and silver, all within a retirement account that offers tax advantages.
Imagine that, potentially boosting your savings with the growth of crypto, while also having the stability of gold. And all while Uncle Sam waits patiently to collect his share until retirement.
It's a pretty powerful combination. And on top of that, they aim to keep fees low, which is crucial when you're investing for the long term. Those small percentages can really add up over the years. Plus, from what users say, the platform is easy to use, even if you're not a crypto expert.
Now let's flip that lens around and look at the potential downsides. Remember that crypto and precious metals can be volatile. Their prices can fluctuate a lot, which means there is a risk of losing money.
That's true. And like with any online platform, security is always a concern. iTrustCapital says they have strong safeguards in place, like two-factor authentication, but it's always wise to be aware of those risks.
Absolutely. So how do you weigh all of this? Here are some questions to ask yourself. Are you excited about the idea of alternative investments like crypto and gold? Are you comfortable with the fact that their values can go up and down? And how important is it to you to have a platform that's easy to use and understand?
If you're finding yourself nodding along to those questions, iTrustCapital might be worth exploring further. And to help you decide, we've put together a free checklist that breaks down the key factors to consider when you're choosing a gold IRA company.
You can download that checklist at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive. It'll walk you through comparing different companies, including iTrustCapital, so you can make a choice that aligns with your goals and your risk tolerance.
At the end of the day, knowledge is your most valuable asset when it comes to investing. The more you understand, the more confident you'll be in making decisions that help you build the retirement you want.
And that wraps up our deep dive into iTrustCapital. We hope this has given you a solid understanding of what this platform has to offer, both the exciting possibilities and the things you need to think about carefully.
Remember, this is just the beginning of your journey. Keep researching, keep learning, and don't hesitate to ask questions.
And if you ever need guidance, we're always here with more deep dives into the world of retirement planning and alternative investments.
Until next time, happy investing. There were a few mentions of fee transparency. Some users felt that while iTrustCapital does tell you about their fees, the information could be maybe a little more clear, a little more upfront.
Yeah, transparency is so important, especially when we're talking about fees that can really impact your returns over time. It sounds like there's room for improvement there.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, but I do want to emphasize that the vast majority of the reviews were really positive. It seems like most people are pretty happy with the platform and what it offers.
So we've really covered iTrustCapital from all sides now, the good, the potentially great, and the things to be aware of. But the big question is, does this platform make sense for you and your retirement plan?
And that's exactly what we wanted to help you with in this deep dive, to give you the information you need to answer that question for yourself.
Exactly. There's no one right answer for everyone. But to help you decide, let's go back over those key takeaways, starting with the potential benefits.
Okay, so with iTrustCapital, you have the option to go beyond those traditional investments like stocks and bonds. You can add cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And you can add precious metals like gold and silver, all within a retirement account that gives you tax advantages.
So you could potentially see your savings grow with crypto, while also having that stability of gold, and all without having to pay taxes on those gains until retirement.
Right. It's a pretty attractive combination. And they also try to keep their fees low, which is really important for long-term growth. And most users say the platform is easy to use, even if you're not super familiar with crypto.
But we also need to remember the potential downsides. Crypto and precious metals can be volatile. Those prices can go up and down pretty dramatically.
That's true.
So there's always a risk of losing money.
Yeah, you always have to keep that in mind with any investment.
And of course, security is something to think about with any online platform.
Right. iTrustCapital says they have strong security measures in place, but no system is perfect.
So how do you weigh all this information and decide if iTrustCapital is right for you? Here are a few questions to ask yourself. Are you interested in alternative investments like crypto and gold? Are you okay with the fact that their prices can fluctuate? And how important is it for you to have a platform that's user-friendly?
If you're answering yes to those questions, then iTrustCapital might be worth a closer look. And to help you make that decision, we've created a free checklist. It breaks down the key things to consider when you're choosing a gold IRA company.
You can download that checklist at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive. It'll walk you through comparing different companies, including iTrustCapital, so you can choose the one that aligns with your own goals and risk tolerance.
Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to investing. The more you know, the more confident you'll feel making those important decisions about your retirement.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into iTrustCapital for today. We hope you've learned a lot about what this platform offers, both the potential benefits and the things to watch out for.
Keep researching, keep learning, and never be afraid to ask questions.
And if you're looking for more guidance on your retirement planning journey, make sure to check out our other deep dives here on the Gold IRA Blueprint podcast.
Until next time, happy investing,